Erica, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk to you about the top 5 books that I want to read this spring. There's technically 8 books on this list, since it was hard for me to choose just 5. These are the books that I want to read in March, April, and May. I'll still make TBRs for those months, but these types of videos help me pinpoint what books I really want to get to within the next few months. I got this idea from Emily from BookswithEmilyFox. She did this video a couple of years ago. I'll link her video down below. The first book that I want to read this spring is Theft of Swords by Michael J. Sullivan. This is the first book in the Heir Revelations trilogy. If I do like his first book, I'm planning on reading the full trilogy. Also, if I like this main trilogy, I also want to read the prequel trilogy afterwards. But this is the first book that starts it all. The next book that I want to read this spring is The Way of Shadows by Brent. This is the first book in his Night Angel trilogy, and this is another adult fantasy trilogy. I've heard Brent Weeks is a popular adult fantasy author, and this trilogy will just let me get a feel for his books and see if I like them or not. His more popular series is the Lightbringer series, but I feel that this trilogy is a good one to start with. Next, I want to read A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. This is another popular adult fantasy trilogy. I've heard lots of people talk about V.E. Schwab. I've heard that this trilogy has to do with parallel Londons in 18th century England, and there's a lot of killing and political intrigue. So hopefully I like this trilogy as much as everyone else. Next, I want to read The Jewel by Amy Ewing. This is the first book in a YA fantasy trilogy. I've heard this trilogy compared to The Handmaid's Tale and The Selection. I've never read the Selection trilogy by Kira Cass or the other books in the Selection series, but I have heard about them. I've heard that this book has the same premise, but other than that, they're completely different books. I've heard mixed reviews about this trilogy overall, but hopefully I like this first book. I also want to get my hands on The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. This book has been all over BookTube recently, and I've heard mixed things about it. Some people really hate it, while others really love it. I want to see what my opinion of it is. Next, I want to read Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. I heard nothing but amazing things about this trilogy, and this book has been everywhere on BookTube in the past few years, and it's had a re-emergence since there's going to be a Grisha TV show. I've never read this trilogy before, and hopefully I like it just as much as everyone else in the community. We'll see. I have high hopes for this trilogy, and hopefully it lives up to the hype. The last book I want to get to this spring is The Warrior Heir by Cinda Chima. This is the first book in a YA fantasy series. It's one of the books on my 2019 must-read fantasy list. Originally I was going to read this series in February, but I never got around to it, so hopefully I will this spring. Basically it follows this young boy who has to take medicine for some condition he has, but one day he stops taking this medicine and he finds out that he comes into these strange abilities. And in this world, people have a fight to the death, and these 2 royal courts in this world are recruiting new contestants for this fight to the death. And these 2 rival courts are now interested in this boy, since he has new abilities. I've heard great things about Cinda Chima as an author, so hopefully I like this series if I pick it up this spring. I know that there's technically 8 books on this list, but it's good to have options. Those are all of the books that I'm hoping to read in the next few months here. Comment down below and tell me what you're looking forward to reading this spring, what you're in the mood for. If you want to see more videos from me, I'll put some videos up on the screen in case you guys want to check those out. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one.